Hi everyone, welcome back to the Crafty Author. My name is Anissa, I am the Crafty Author, and welcome to my quilting room. Today, we are going to work on blocks 3 and 4 of the Sawtooth Star Quilt. And I do apologize, but as many of you know, I was traveling with my mom, and so it was a little bit harder for me to post while I was away. So that's why we're doing blocks 3 and 4 today. So we have our first 2 blocks that we made previously. So you should already have your block 1 and 2 done. And if you have 3 and 4 done, that's great too, because then you're ahead of schedule. But this is what we have made so far. I've got all of my pieces cut today for what we're going to make now. And I'm going to be using this cute little zebra from the Lineworks Charm Pack by Tula Pink. And I am also going to be using some monkey wrench fabric from Tula Pink, and then just my other handy dandy colors that help make those star points just pop out and be so beautiful. So that's for 1, block 3. This will be for block 4. Block 4 has the lemur on it, and I love it. It's so cute. I will put cutting instructions down below in the description box so that you may also cut yours the same. But I will tell you what they are. So it's 1 5-inch square. It's 4 3.5-inch squares. So you'll need that of your darker fabric and of your lighter fabric. And then you'll need 4, is it 4? Yes. Then you will need 4 3-inch squares for your corners. So I'm going to sit down and I'm going to show you what we do next. And we're going to just put this together. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to take 1 square from our darker colors. In this case, it'll be my print, and then 1 from our lighter colored squares, both at 3.5 inches. So what you do, I'm just going to, for right now, I'm just going to draw my line, the diagonal down. And then you're going to place your pieces right sides facing each other. So I'm just going to put that piece that I drew my line on, I'm just going to lay that on top of my ladybugs there. All right, so we're going to just start chain piecing these. And I'm going to lift my presser foot up, and I'm going to sew 1/4 inch on this side of this line that we drew. So 1/4 inch over here, and then 1/4 inch over here, just on each side of that line. That's what's going to give us our half square triangles. Okay, so we're done with that piece now, and we're just going to go ahead and snip our threads right there that are from our chain piecing. So let's just trim those, and then we will do the fun stuff. We'll start making our half square triangles. Okay, here we go. Let's put these ones aside because these are different. We're going to focus on our ladybugs first. So as you can see, I have all of these lines that we drew here, And now what we need to do is just cut these apart. Now you can do that with scissors as long as you cut on that straight line, or you can do it with your rotary cutter. I'm gonna do it with my rotary cutter just because I am used to doing this with my rotary cutter, but I've also done it with scissors and it'll turn out just fine as well. So just whatever you have handy. Now, I like to keep my halves together because if one of them is wonky, it will fit with the other piece. Whereas if I try to put it with this piece, it wouldn't work. So I always do that. It's just a little tip. You don't have to do it. As a matter of fact, I'm sure a lot of quilters don't do that, but I do. So I find that it just makes it really easy for myself. So I'm just gonna cut that. Okay, those are done. Now I can move on to this pile here. Now remember, we're doing two blocks here, so I'm showing you how to do this. You're gonna be amazed at how easy this really is. It goes so quick. Okay, so now I'm done cutting all my pieces. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them to the pressing board, and I am going to press one of my triangles this way. So one will go towards the lighter blue this side, and the other one is going to go towards the ladybugs. And I'm just going to give them a good press. Now the reason that I'm pressing them in different directions is so that when I go to put them together, they will nest and it will make my star points. Okay, so now what we want to do is square up our squares. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little square here that I use to square up my squares. And I am going to be cutting these down to 2 3/4. Now it's important to do this because you want it to be nice and squared up when you go to put these together, to sew them together. They'll go together much easier if you do this part, so trust me. So I'm going to just measure out here 2 3/4, and I just want to make sure that I am lining up on the diagonal here with my my ruler. So I'm putting that on my seam line, and then I am going to cut 2 3/4. I'm going to spin the mat, and then I will again line up on that seam line just perfectly. And I'm going to do that both on this side here and on my bottom. So I want to make sure that those are lined up, and then I'm going to cut the excess off here. That will also take care of the dog ears that you have attached. These are dog ears, in case you're not certain what those are. Those are those little leftover tails on the fabric when you press. So we want to make sure that we are taking care of that. This is probably the most tedious part of the whole process, is cutting all of these down. At least it is for me. then you'll see how it'll go together so nice and easy here. So just like that. And you can see there's our star points right there. And they're going to line up perfectly when I flip them to sew them. And then I'll just stitch with my 1/4 inch and it'll be perfect. Okay, so this is going to be the start of one of the stars, and you can see that I went ahead and pressed these opposite directions. So we have a seam going this way and we have one going that way. That's what's going to help us nest. So I'm just going to take these 2 pieces together here. And then I am going to nest them together, just like that. And now they are together. And you could put a pin in here if you wanted to hold that together, but you can see they are nesting. They're nesting really nicely right here. All right, so we have all of our little half square triangles sewn together. And I'm just going to go ahead and clip the threads apart from chain piecing. And then I will be pressing these seams open. This is to reduce the bulk for when we go to quilt it, because there are a lot of seams going on in here right now. And all I'm going to do is just take them and open them like this. And I'm just going to press it with some steam. And that will make them nice and ready for us to put around our charm square. All right, so we're going to lay it out now and see what it looks like. So I'm going to put the lemur facing you so that you can see this. I'll place that one there, that one here, that one here. So you can see the stars our star has already been made there. And I'm going to take my 3-inch squares and I'm just going to put them right here, 1 in each corner. And that is what our lemur block is going to look like. So what I will do is I will sew these 3 pieces together, these 3 pieces together, and then these 3 pieces together. And then I will attach them to each row. So I'm going to set this aside for right now. And when I go to sew it, I will take it with me to the machine and show you how we do it. The next one that we're going to do is our second block. And I will turn that one around so you can see the zebras. And we're going to put this one together. So we have that one. And they're all different. I like my blocks to be a little bit crazy, so that's my goal here, is to make these look as crazy as I can. Very vibrant colors. And voila. Perfect. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to attach all these together using a 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to sew this row together, 1/4 inch seam, and then I'm going to do the same with the bottom row, 1/4 inch seam, and then I will do the row. Okay, I'm going to start on the top here. And I am going to sew 1/4 inch. Okay, now I'm going to bring my other piece over from the top, and I'm going to sew it here. And my 3-inch blocks are a little big, so on the top row, I'm lining them up. I am lining them even with this bottom part so that when I go to trim it, it'll be up here at the top. And then when I do the bottom, I line it up so that when I trim up, it'll be towards the bottom. And I feel like I'm doing this backwards. So I'm going to start at the bottom instead. Okay. So we have all of our pieces sewn together now, and we still have these little threads that are in between, but we don't want to trim those off. So what we want to do now is we want to press our top portion seam on the ones that we just added on our corner piece. We want to press those out. Then for our center piece, we want to finger press those facing in. And then the bottom ones, we're going to press those outward again. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip them over. And this one, our seams are going to nest perfectly. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Now they're going in opposite directions, which is exactly what we want. So I'm just going to lock those into place. Make sure they're even. And then I'm going to go ahead and stitch this down with 1/4 inch seam. And I am going to do the same thing with this one. We're just gonna line it all up and let our seams automatically nest. And we're just gonna stitch it down using that 1/4 inch seam. All right, and so we're done with this block now, and we can press this part open, which is what I will do. I will press these seams open. And you can do it with your finger, or you can just wait and take it over to the pressing board, but I'm just going to press it real quick just to show you how I do this. I just take the pad of my finger or my fingernail sometimes, and I just press. Now you can snip those little threads if you want to. All right, so I have all the blocks sewn together now. So the blocks are done, and I am going to square this up. Now, I want this to be 9 by 9 when it's finished. So I'm going to take my ruler, and I am going to line up my seams right here on this line on my mat. And I am using a rotating mat so that I can easily rotate this. And I'm just going to line it up on that 4.5 inch mark there, so that I know that I have 4.5 inches over. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5 right there. And I am just going to give this a cut now. And I'm going to turn, and I'm going to cut. Again, lining up on my 4.5 inch line here. I'm going to do this to all 4 sides. So I'm just going to keep going around. And that's what is really nice about this rotating mat, is that you can just keep rotating it. And you don't have to pick up your block and move it, which can be kind of disturbing to it sometimes. So then I just want to make sure I'm doing this correct. Make sure everything's lined up. Always measure twice and cut once. Okay. So now my block is done. And it should be 9 by 9. So let's check it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that one is good. And then we have this one that I've already trimmed up that we made. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it is perfect. So they've all been squared up. Now, I did want to show you something real quick with this one, because I made a boo-boo. And so I had to actually pull it apart and redo it. But you really want to be careful so that when you're pressing and you're cutting and all of that stuff, that you don't cut off your points. So as you can see right here, I cut off my points, and that is because I had this all sewn on the wrong way. So I had it backwards, and so I had to seam rip it and then sew it on correctly. Well, in turn, that caused my block to be a little bit wonky, and I ended up cutting this off when I was trimming it. So I just wanted to show you that, and that it does happen, and not to be too worried if it doesn't turn out perfect or whatever. This is still going to go on the main part of the quilt, and it's going to be fine, and nobody's even going to pay attention to that once it's all put together and quilted, and you won't probably even ever see it. So if you've messed up your block, do not worry about it. It will be fine. Okay? Perfect. So these are the two blocks that we have. So this is block 3 and block 4. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make blocks 3 and 4 of the Sawtooth Star Quilt quilt series that we're doing. And if you would like to follow me on social media, the links are down below in the description box. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you'd like to share it. That's great because sharing is caring. Also, don't forget to click that little bell. You get notified each and every time that I upload an awesomely cool new video. Also, I want to say thank you for helping me reach 60,000 subscribers. Yay! I can't wait. My goal is to hit 100,000 by the end of the year. So I think we can do it. Also, I have one link for shopping if there's anything that you saw in this video that you would like to purchase. I have affiliate links. Those are also down below in the description box. If you click on my Linktree link, it will automatically take you to all of the different stores where you can buy this fabric. You can buy cutting, I want to say utensils, but that's probably not right. Rotary cutters, the whole 9 yards. So if that's what you're looking for, make sure you check that out. I will also link some other ones like for these mats, and you'll be able to find that. My Amazon store is also in there, and keep on crafting. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.